just wondering whether we could do one piece each and go around in the a few times if that suits everybody. A bit like Poets Out Loud. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Cool.
Anything you want, Phil.
Oh, just cake.
Yeah.
Is that in your grocery delivery?
Yeah, I'll put it in a box and send it down.
Good man. Thank you
I
very
tried
much.
one of the Santa Yum Nuts today from M&S.
Have you been eating Santa's Yum Nuts?
Having a nibble on Santa's Yum Nuts, yeah.
Oh dear.
They're extremely sweet, so if people have a sweet tooth, that's your thing. No, not my thing, because I don't have a sweet tooth, but I was curious.
Right. And Juliet, hello.
The pink press have loved Santa's Yum Nuts.
I'm sure they
Right.
have. Good. Are you reading tonight, Juliet? You will be. I think you're on mute there, but that's okay. Okay. You go after Owen. Is that okay? All right. If anybody else join, oh, there's a few more people joining in. We might get a second batch out of this now. Welcome to the well-oiled machine that is SpeakEasy Online.
Hello, sorry I'm late.
It's all right. Would you like to read, Jeanette?
Yes, I will, yeah. I don't know what yet, but I'll find something.
Okay, we'll put you on after Juliet. Is that
Thank
okay?
you.
Right. We'll make a start, but as normal, if you can mute when you're not reading and unmute when you are reading, because that's the real trick. It works a lot better that way. If you want to applaud, you can clap or you can do the sign language waving. So yeah, that would be really cool. As I say, I'm recording it. I hope that's okay. And yeah, we'll see what happens. It's November already, and I don't know if we'll do one in December because there'll be the Poets Out Loud on, I think something on like on the 8th or something. But then I think the Wednesdays around Christmas are like the 23rd and the 30th. So I don't know whether
When's Christmas again?
this
What?
year I believe it's on the 25th,
Oh, okay, that's good.
which is a
Yeah.
Friday, I think.
Check Barbara.
Yeah, it's recording. We'll make her watch that later. So yeah, I don't know if do we want to do one on the 23rd or the 30th, or do we want a Christmas break? Wave if you want a Christmas break.
I want a break. It doesn't have to be Christmas.
Okay, well, okay, we'll see what happens. It might be something.
A winter solstice break.
Yeah, that sounds all right to me.
Yeah, or a winter
Sounds good.
solstice speakeasy. I don't know.
Yeah, well, I could put a recording of one that we've done in the past on. Will that suffice? I can put that on Facebook. We'll see what happens. It might be a Christmas present or something. Richard, hello.
Hi, sorry to be late. My computer was playing up tonight. Couldn't get it working. But
Don't talk to me about computers. Would you like to read?
yeah, I got a couple of things I can stick in somewhere.
What would you like to read? I'll put you on after
Tonight?
Jeanette. Is that all right?
Whenever that comes up, yeah.
Okay. Well, maybe do the everybody read one piece and go around the group like that. Does that sound okay? Okay, cool. All right, I'll make a start.
Evening, Roz. Hope you're well.
Cool. I think our ingenious leader came up with the phrase the other day that "'tis the season to be jolly careful." So I thought this is something that he may have dreamt up if he had the opportunity. They may have solved the whole COVID thing, or at least how people should behave over winter. And this is from The strange world of Boris's mind. 'Tis the season to be jolly careful. Listen up. We've a way to end this subjugation. To beat the virus, why not try hibernation? Think about it. Everybody put in suspended animation, like Harrison Ford in that film, although he did go blind, but only temporarily, I think you'll find. And he did the Barnard Castle run in next to no time, so to clear that up. So anyway, to beat this wretched COVID, make like Morpheus in that story by Ovid, settle down for a good long sleep. All citizens of this great nation will let you know when a vaccination arrives, and so we can all get on with our lives. Wah! And there you go. Thank you very much. Becca, follow that.
Have you thought about going into politics, Phil?
I thought it would be a terrible idea, yeah.
You do a better job than some of them, I'm sure.
Don't judge me on 90 seconds. It's... Becca?
Tricky to follow, but the title goes quite well, actually. I feel sick. So many ways to vomit, and so much need to emit. Each gobbet of horror news served by suit or flak jacket acts as an emetic. Look, more butchery, more slaying and massacre that somehow no one stopped. Look, another mum cradling a blood-soaked bundle. Was it always thus? Was there always a point when tender souls like ours could thole it no longer and had to chunder? We vomit through ages at violence to innocence, heaving, hurling, barfing, spewing, puking, boking, such blowing of chunks, such unquenchable flow through gullets and mouths to all those affronted floors. Recent meals looking like our diced insides. We are hollowed out with just enough strength to slalom past sick pools to reach our back garden or nearest patch of green. Breezes cool our sweat and our stomachs settle. Saliva returns. We swill and spit out remnants. Now we look around. Bird, bough, bud, bloom, none sharing our nature. They go about business purely. We are ignored and nourished. Thank you, Tony Hendry.
Well, thank you, Becca. My God, what a way to start things off, eh?
Follow that, Ross.
Yeah, I'll struggle. I've got something that I wrote this morning, which I'll share with you. It's called, well, provisionally called Record Collection Rhyme Roulette. It's democracy, controversy, but please listen responsibly. Lie to me, don't cry for me. Parental advisory. You believe in magic? You believe in love? Our friend's electric, with hands in gloves. A package thief or iPhone kiss. Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing to fuck with. I shot the sheriff. What's the frequency, Kenneth? We didn't start the fire. I want to take you higher. Live and dangerous, live in Leeds. Lifetime, alive, 1, 2, and 3. Grace and danger, bummed, scream major. Insane on the brain on a mystery train with blood on the tracks and the nightmares on wax. Mashing Siamese dreams with Caribbean queens and the acid rain drops with the glam rock cops. But stop. In the name of love, in the name of the Father, killing in the name of Martha, Jolene, Carrie, Vincent, Rosanna, Angie, Marcus, Garvey, Layla, Lona, Mai Sharona, Mother Nature's son, Sally McLennan, Abraham, Martin, and John. It's a song for whoever, always and forever. At the Easter parade, come back and stay. In sweet invisibility, you'll never be rid of me. It's important, so important, not to import or delete it. Spin the black circle, you just can't beat it. A spirit lifted, a lifeline gifted. End the whole generic divide. This is the soundtrack of our lives.
That was great.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Susan.
Okay. Mhm. Oops. Breathless, breathing deeply, passing by the jaunty multicoloured pebbles, cheerful in restraint, as I escape constraint and limits, feeling freedom, free from families and familiars. A pathway strewn with days leads to the soupy mess of leaves and reeds, and reaching weed-green fingers like waving coral, while I am out of reach. The thistle heads on point of bursting brashly bob against the waving willow wickets in the wildlife wilderness garden, while the wind runs fingers through my hair, shaken free from tether. Teasel carcasses rattle in this charnel house of apple bodies dropped discarded to the mulch, and sloes on leafless twiggy branches, milky dusted cataracts signifying mortality. But even in this world of copper-coloured death, a proud pale primrose starts its life pushing through the swamping mulch, and a heavy verdant rose of fleshy petals nurturing potential foxgloves starts the backwards twist on the amoebus strip of life.
Yeah, excellent stuff. Thank you. George.
Yeah, I'm going to read one that I wrote this morning as well, actually. But I'm on this thing where I'm trying. We got a prompt today, and today's prompt was "Courage, mon brave." And for some reason, I couldn't get Dylan Thomas Rage Against the Dying of the Light out of my head. So this is Rage Against. Incontinence of sterile beds and iron sheets lie passing minutes of silent bravery, where hope and fear and love and dying meets. Visitors watching every breath, where laughter greets the useless joke, where bodies turn to treachery, incontinence of sterile beds and iron sheets. Corridors wandered by a longing for the streets to feel the wondrous blood and butchery, where hope and fear and love and dying meets. In prisons of the soul, where each retreats, girds with broken shield against death's archery, incontinence of sterile beds and iron sheets. They talk of battles, of victories and defeats. In truth, this is not a war, but slavery, where hope and fear and love and dying meets, where time is stolen, where each completes his struggled way across a furrowed scenery, incontinence of sterile beds and iron sheets, where hope and fear and love and dying meets.
Yeah, very good. So is this a daily thing you're doing, George?
Yes, it's Joe Bell's got a site up that she started when the second lockdown started. And so there's a prompt today comes up on the site. You don't have to do them, of course, but I mean, I probably write a poem a day anyway, so it's quite good to actually have something that you're sort of put into. But I like to drop back into styles occasionally, so it's quite nice. I haven't done a villanelle for a long time.
Yeah, that's good. Really good. I wonder what tomorrow will be. Roz, what have you got for us? Are you feeling better, by the way?
A little bit. Yeah, I'm a bit weird at the minute still, but never mind. I've got a picture, so I'm hoping I can share the screen.
Oh,
So I've got a button to try it. So
uh,
host disabled. Oh,
okay, hang on. Try again.
oh, yeah. There we go. I'll try this. Right, have you got that? You see that? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yes, yes.
Yeah. Okay, that's a picture I took. Where did I take that? It's at Cromwell, I think. I'm just going to turn it over because it does that, which I didn't intend doing when I took it, but it just works upside down as well. So I thought, oh, that must be worthy of writing something. See what I can
Fantastic.
find the poem now. Yeah, which I did put all just, I'm probably still sharing. Am I sharing this or not?
You are. You'll have to push the button in the middle at the top, I think, to end the screen share.
Yeah. There you go.
Okay.
Now I've lost my poem. It was there. Yeah, so I sort of wrote this just because of the picture, really. Still, lake water, glass-like mirror in landscapes, inverted, mountain spanning a watery blue sky, shoreside trees, reflected trunks and branches, not symmetrical, but realigned with a perfect harmony, branches and trunks, reflected trees, shoreside, sky blue, watery, a spanning mountain inverted, landscapes in mirror-like glass, water, lake, still. And that was that.
Oh, wonderful. Oh, those are so clever, those ones where they mirror poems. Great stuff. Okay, Julie and Paul, do you have something for us?
Me. I'd like to do a song if that's okay.
Sure, let's give it a go.
Poetry set to music, this is. It's a song all about the harshness of winter. What's to come, I'm afraid. When winter's shadowy fingers first pursue you down the street, and your boots no longer lie about, the cold around your feet, do you spare a thought for summer, whose passage is complete, whose memories lie in ruins, and whose ruins lie in heat, when winter comes howling in. When the wind is singing strangely, blowing music through your head, and your rain-splattered windows make you decide to stay in bed, do you spare a thought for the homeless tramp who wishes he was dead? Or do you pull the bedclothes higher, dream of summertime instead, when winter comes howling in? The creeping cold has fingers that caress without permission. Mystical's crystal snowdrops only aggravate the condition. Do you spare a thought for the gypsy with no secure position, who's turned and spurned by village and town at the magistrate's decision, when winter comes howling in? When the turkey's in the oven and the Christmas presents are bought, and Santa's in his module. He's an American astronaut. Do you spare a thought for Jesus, who had nothing but his thoughts? Who got busted just for talking and befriending the wrong sort? When winter comes howling in. Thank you.
That was great. Thank you very much. Cool.
I need your shadow.
Oh, sorry.
Out of the way. I can't see
I'll
the
move out the
shadows
way.
in the way.
Oh.
You can't see me either. Okay, this is called Zoom. Looking at little boxes where faces are clear. But do I know you? Not really, my dear. I know of you from things you say. Listen to your art, delivered in unique way. I don't know your favourite colour or what you have in teas. Do you like peonies? Or simple sweet peas? Do you like horror filled with blood and gore? Or a comedy that has you rolling on the floor? Who are you? I'd really like to know. Perhaps after lockdown, you'll give it a go.
Yeah, good stuff. Yeah. It is strange, those little postage sort of stamp size windows into people's worlds. Okay. Evening. Craig, what have you got for us?
I've got one I wrote a while ago, but I haven't really had an opportunity to say it. It's I try to imagine what it would be like if the sun disappeared, and it's called 8 Minutes to Live. The sun is gone. Let's crawl back to the spicy blackness from whence we came, hurled tangentially through the eternal void. Nightmares, reality, but they were never so bad. Life giver, space mother, just sort of there until it wasn't. Eternal night sky, serene in its chaos. The planets depart, alone at last. Thank you.
Oh. It's like bleak midwinter. Yeah. Cool.
You are. They can hear you.
Hello.
Don't say anything.
Hello, Owen.
Try not to. Try not to. This is from yesterday. Collected works. One hand cannot hold it while you sip your cappuccino, while you light that final cigarette, the one you've been saving for an occasion just like this. You're going to need more hands, many hands, all the hands, just to turn the pages. Each one thinner than the particle of a particle, yet heavier than the whole in space. Inside, the dreams of all existence wait to be discovered. What you have to ask yourself is this: are you really ready, and do you have the time to wrestle with the weight of it? The collected works of everyone, a universe on your shoulders, balanced on the spine. Thank you.
I like that. That was good. Very good. Thank you very much. Universe balanced on the spine. Great.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Juliet.
I was thinking about the changes to electric cars, and I found myself writing about an elegy to petrol today, which was a surprise. But elegy at the pumps. The smell of teenage freedom at the forecourt. Petroleum evaporating like clear vodka and excitement. How much longer will we dance? Poured into tanks vast with cheap fuel and driving off into expectation. Of course, I want fast charging points and will betray you petrol so quickly, leaving the spill of the nozzle behind, wiping my hands of you on an oily cloth. Oh, petroleum, your flammable halo of hydrocarbons rubbished. And what about the jerry cans we cherished, now hollow of your illegal liquid? How heavy you were when I carried you for Dad, the sound of sloshing and green metal scraping my ankle. But you are not the future. You are the condemned man or flammable nightie, the dodgy 70s sitcom, the exploding kettle. I don't want you, but fear I might fail the future test too.
Yeah. It's what, 10 years is it till the ban on petrol? Yeah, that could be here a lot sooner than we might think. Thank you, Jeanette. Have you got one?
That's it. Can you hear me now? Thank you very much for posting this today. This is my own copy. I did buy one. The other one's going to my mum for Christmas. It's called Last Orders 2. The landlord shouted last orders, but bottles still settled in sand. Ignorance ignored the time bell. Arrogance took the command. Time was called, but disregarded. Greed washed warnings down, leaning on a marble bar that stole a mountain's crown. Chalices cracked into craters, revelry retreated, exposed, as the sky became the last wrapper when the sea pulled its shutter and closed. That's that. Thank you.
Thank you. And yes, it's available in what's it? Poetry for a Purpose. Available on Amazon and from all disreputable bookshops. Oh, that's just email us. We can probably send a copy. Got the plug in. There we are. Good for Christmas. Richard, what have you got for us? Has he frozen again?
Just unmute myself. You can hear me, hopefully.
We can hear you.
Yeah, I actually woke up this morning and I wrote a couple of verses of this. You can? Yeah, good. Yeah, I wrote a couple of verses of this morning when I woke up. And I put another one in a little bit later on because I thought it wasn't quite finished. So I've written it down, so I hope I can read my writing now. It's called Chocolate Soldiers, and it's the little thing you get in silver paper that you hang on your Christmas tree. It goes like this. We've been sending chocolate soldiers into our war. Will they melt in the heat of battle? What chance do they have? They've not even been trained. Will they be eaten, slaughtered like cattle? It's a cocoa army, decorated Christmas tree. They're hoping to invade, and very soon. Those delicious warriors of the free. A sticky confection. They love to be licked or nibbled most gently in smallish bites. Peel back their armor, they always surrender. They may be soldiers, but none ever fights. Thank you.
That's great. Thank you very much. Fernando Smith, have you got something for us? I've caught you unawares there, you see.
I wasn't switched on in many senses of the word. Hello.
Oh.
Sorry I'm late. Yes, I've got a poem here that there's been this book that people have been waiting for me to finish. Philip and Sue. And the trouble is I keep finding poems that I'd written for it that I'd forgotten about. And there's one here, and it's called The Birth of Rock Climbing, and this book here is called The First Tigers. It's an old book by Alan Hankinson, who I knew a little from. He taught at the same college when I was one of my first jobs was teaching at an art college, and he taught there. It was in Accrington and Rossendale, and he wrote that book, and it was very influential when I was young. And when we had real heroes and heroines who did stuff, you know, other than just appearing on telly or on Zoom. And it's an early history of rock climbing in the Lake District. And for anyone who isn't aware, it's kind of commonly assumed that rock climbing, the sport of rock climbing, began at Wasdale. And of course, Nape's Needle was one of the iconic routes there. Many of you might have seen photographs by the Abraham brothers. Certainly the litter the shop windows of Keswick. And this was really inspirational to me as a young lad, hitching up to the lakes and Wales and various other places to climb. When I was lean and mean and the hips worked without clicking and you could move without making a noise, you know. And the idea of these Victorian gentlemen, and it was men then, unlike today, wealthy men and upper middle class men from London coming up to the Lake District and employing farmers and shepherds to guide them up the fells and the new rock routes. And it was a playground for them in many ways. And this always captured my imagination, both in terms of the physical playground, but also in terms of I guess the sort of the hedonism of being able to be away from Victorian convention and be blokes together with beer and working class folk mix with the other classes, and how liberating that must have been. And I'm sorry it was just men, but I guess the women perhaps rejoiced at their departure. And they were really necky, these people. The old maxim of, you know, if you're climbing, if you're leading, don't fall. The leader never falls. And I was raised on this sort of thing when climbing was an apprenticeship you served. And in fact, a few years ago, it was a very wet day in a Palomine. A very good painter called Michael Downs. I had a camper van then, and we went up to the Lake District. We went up to Langdale, and it was absolutely hoiling down. And so we decided to climb all the sort of diff and the very diff routes, the old grimy chimneys of Pavey Ark and the Langdale Pikes. And we failed on everything. And at that time, we were kind of sort of E3 climbers, if you know what that means. And we worked out that it was because we weren't wearing tweed jackets, which of course gives an awful lot of friction against the rock, and hobnail boots. So with that in mind, this poem, I don't know that I will include it in the book. I think it needs work, but sometimes it's helpful reading a poem to an audience to have a different perspective of it yourself. We're not going to run out of time, are we? I've gone on a bit, sorry.
No, you have all the time you like this month.
Oh, really? Oh, well, in that case, I'll
sorry, everybody else.
It's called The Birth of Rock Climbing. And for those, because the book's about grid references, it's about work created at grid references across Cumbria. The grid reference is NY 209098, so make a note of that, please. The Birth of Rock Climbing. Doctors turned naughty children playing high above the bell jar. Optimistic days away from smothering London drafts. Tumbling professors scolded by hefted shepherds. Seasoned grey eyes marking good, a Harris tweed flock marching along the sluice of the trod. Lawyers untouched by heavy industry, forward-leaning, gurning to catch their breath through the mustard damp. Nailed boots emboss the earth and soon fill with inky rainwater. Clints like squandered bullets spark the buttress as the column enters a saggy bottom of cloud, now sitting weightily on the Sphinx's nose where she surveys the valley from her promontory. What premonition passes before this parade of ghosts, not yet sleeping? Sipping the sarcophagus, still breathing, and again, and once more, twisting up a collar, threading a final button to the unsullied westerly gasp. A delicious adventure planned before port and fowl and Christmas pudding line their stomachs like lead. Away, away for now. Away from wives, family, work, church. Such ordinary living not reflected in last night's bitter ale. Away, away for now. Away from stale conversation, now distant as the sliced style of man, lingering there on the Irish Sea, a little mackerel glinting, a flash of light caught in the eye. Moustaches untrimmed, bowing to a bottom lip. Prayers set aside for a later penury. Letters and poems yet to be composed in sweat-bound notebooks. The blood flower still gifted for love, not yet for remembrance. This grand tour, a final celebration, seized upon like a breathless grab for the steadying flake above the crux. A shaky balancing act, now delicate shuffle to the dark, wet crack. If you fall, it will be not for lack of vigour, but only the misfortune of being born at the bookend of peace. It is not yet time for a face-down bivouac in the pocked mud on the flat field, etched with the scars of a crack-rashed knuckle. A beckoning bluster beyond the summits, night gathering itself, cradled in the arms like a stillborn. And here, the raven contouring to the rake, dark as the dreamless depths of Waspwater's bitumen trench. I should just say, I forgot to mention, when I was working on the poem, I was very mindful of this generation. I describe being the generation many of whom fell in the Great War. What a great war that was. One of the best, the First World War. And that was I was very mindful of that as I was writing it, and they were obviously trudging up making their way up the fells.
Yeah, I'd get that one in the bookmark. That is a good poem.
Thank you.
I get it in.
Thank you.
I was going to say the same thing.
The book might be a bit longer then.
That's okay. Well, yeah, no, that's good. Cool. All right. So that's a full circuit. Have we missed anybody out who wanted to read anything? No? Okay. All right. I do know there was somebody who wanted to read something, but he hasn't got internet access at the moment. But when we were doing the Freiran project a couple of weeks ago, he made me record some other poems. So if anybody wants a slightly carry-on take on the COVID situation, we've got this from our friend Sir Stephen. Hopefully.
Greetings, 'tis me again. And this one is entitled The Return of the Dreaded Lurgy. The world is in total lockdown. The streets are empty. The shops are just about staying open. And why is all this happening? Well, it would seem that a virus that is old as time has returned once more to wreak death and mayhem on mankind once more. This virus is more potent than the Black Death, much worse than the green monkey mange, and twice as nasty as having a visit from the taxman. And the name of this unseen monster bug? Well, it's none other than the dreaded lurgy. And the symptoms of the dreaded lurgy are a very high fever, hot enough to fry an egg. Your hair turns bright purple. Bright green spots break out all over the victim's body. And the last one is a case of explosive and very whiffy wind. It has been claimed that the lurgy was behind the death of the dinosaurs. On that fateful day, 65 million years ago, give or take an hour, after the massive monsters had let rip with some real stinkers, a volcano went up, and it was goodbye and farewell, dino kind. Some also claim that the biblical cities of Sodom and Gomorrah were destroyed by a mass breakout of the virus. Someone went to check on the hospital carrying a flaming torch and poof! Take out time, nurse. The lethal lurgy hit Britain in the year 1313, unlucky for some, wiping out the towns of much bonking on the wold, Great Piddle, much groping in the fens, as well as Little Dicky on the pond, among others. In 1666, one unlucky victim was standing near the ovens in London's Pudding Lane, and before you could say hot cross buns, thus began the infamous Great Fire of London. It may have also destroyed the airship Hindenburg in 1937, as well as the infamous pea supers in 1952. So by any chance, if you're out walking in the now empty streets, and you have the misfortune to come face to face with purple-haired, green-skinned people with steam coming out the back of beyond, light up that cigar you've been keeping hold of, chuck the match at them, and run like a bat out of hell. You should just get away before the blast knocks you off your feet. So there you have it. As this unseen little bug travels its way around the world, remember to keep your upper lip stiff, keep the flag flying, and the best of British luck will beat this little bugger.
There you go. That's Sir Stephen. Again, we'll be passing that on to Boris and his COVID team. Cool. All right. Are we all doing okay? Cool.
Have Joe and I got matching mugs?
Yes. Fantastic. Oh, it's like a kid's annual where you've got to pair things up that are the same in different squares and things. I like it.
Spot the difference.
It's like that. Yeah. I think we've...
Spot the difference. I used to draw extra things on the...
No, it's those cards where you have to turn them over and you've got a match. So you've got me and Joe now. So you have to take us off and put us over there now. So.
I've just got to say this. I'll have to say it quietly because she's in the other room. But some time ago, my partner got in this whole mindfulness thing, and it drives you nutty. And she got some colouring books. And she brought them home. She'd not looked at them, and they were really naff ones, and from like Palm Stretcher or something. And so I got this felt tip pen, and I changed the drawings, and I put extra things on. There was like a desert island scene, and I did drawings of people like drowning and being eaten by sharks, and birds, seagulls like shitting on people and stuff, you know. And she looked through it, and then she realised, she was laughing. She said, look at this. I was like, wow, the printers must have been having a bit of fun with this. And this was a few years ago, and she still doesn't know, and it's got really awkward now. I can say this because she never watches this. She hates poetry. and we had friends round, and she was showing it to them. and I felt terrible. I was like, I'm a really bad person. And now these books are still there, like staring at me every morning on the shelf, reminding me of what an awful man I am. I just thought I'd share that. It feels better. It's cathartic.
Thank you.
How long since your last confession, my son?
Now we know. Now, if you know what to get people for Christmas, just a colouring book and then make it a bespoke.
Yeah. Add your own little
flourishes
genre to it or whatever. Yeah.
Cool.
Could be fun.
Are we up for a little story? Yeah. Okay. It's the latest in the long-running or short-running saga of the Kung Fu Penguin. So here we go. Having teamed up with the DI Snow Leopard, Kung Fu Penguin, Private Eye Kung Fu Vigilante, follows up a lead on Old Billy Goat Gruff. The address was a small red brick tumble-down terrace house in a small run-down, tumble-down part of town. We knocked on the old brown door, ancient paint flaking from the wooden frame. Old Nanny Goat opened the door. Clocking the cop, she rolled her eyes and hollered. "What the hell you been doing, old Billy?" "Ain't been doing nothing," he shouted back from inside the dwelling. "Sorry to intrude, madam, but we'd like to ask you and your husband a few questions about your nephew. We'd like to find out if you know anything about why someone would want to shoot him." "Oh, that was a sad business. They got a fella for his killing, little penguin fella like him." I tried not to react, but I knew I was framed. I hoped the DI would help me clear my name. "We're following a new line of inquiry, and we'd like a word with your husband." "You better come in." We were led past flaking wood chip and damp-stained walls into a back lounge. It was a pleasant enough place, you might even say cozy. There was a little sofa opposite a neat fireplace, a comfy armchair to one side, the obligatory coffee table, and a 10-year-old TV in the corner. There was also about 50 brown cardboard boxes, about 5 inches by 20 and 5 inches in height. "What are you doing? Running Amazon deliveries?" snapped DI Snow Leopard. "These ain't ours," Billy grumbled. He's right. The address is for one Vincent Van Gogh. Must be your nephew. I noticed the labels on the parcels. "Yeah, they're his, all right." "You got him the job at customs, didn't you?" "Sure. The kid was down on his luck. I put in a good word." "Ornaments a speciality of your nephew's?" The DI put her hand in one of the open boxes and removed a white ceramic figurine of a small creature. It had a little round black eye in the middle of a small round head with big ears. It was perched upon an oval body. Or was it a round head with a beak and an oval body on its side? "Got a question for you." "Okay, officer, I'll do my best." "Is it a rabbit or a duck?" "I don't know. I'm afraid you're out of luck." "Or maybe it's a hare." "Tell me, do I care?" "Could always be just a wild goose." "I tell you, there's some loose ends here that are pretty loose." Old Billy just looked back with a vacant stare. "So is it a duck or a rabbit?" Suddenly DI Snow Leopard let the little ornament drop out of her hand. It landed with a crash upon the tiles of the fireplace. "Or just someone's nasty habit." White powder was spilling out the remains of the smashed porcelain figure. "I'm going to exercise my right to remain silent until I see my lawyer." "Yeah, you do that." The DI picked up her phone and made a call. Within minutes, the drug squad were making the place secure and taking the old goats into custody. Next thing I knew, we were heading outside to the car. "What's going on?" I asked. "We've been trying to bust this narcotics ring who've been operating stateside. We knew they'd been smuggling in the stuff, but we didn't know how or where the distribution network was based." "Well, I guess one piece of that puzzle just fell into place. And as for distribution, I think I've seen one of those figurines someplace before." "Oh yeah, Penguin? Where?" "On the desk of the manager of that nightclub, the Purple Gerbil." no prizes for guessing where our next stop is. So find out what happens next time in the continuing exciting adventures of Kung Fu Penguin. There you are. Thank you for listening. Okay. Becca, do you have another one?
Yes. Ah, Owen's out of shot. Camera is all mine. You know the camera.
He's behind you.
Not getting into panto season yet. It is not December. Right.
Oh, yes, it is.
All right, Dame.
Yes, but
Yeah. All right, focus. Tony says, it's coming up to a year since launch night for my pamphlet, Fresh Air, published by Coldew Press. It was a special night for me, and this is one of the poems which was read. I chose it for tonight because it involves a group activity, which there hasn't been much of this year. And because it ends on a defiant note. Tuesday Trundlers. I will set up a walking group and call it Tuesday Trundlers. We will give each other lifts and our old bones will creak as we bend to lace our boots in car parks of country parks. Each walk will have a leader who has tested the route for flatness and firmness. We will set off gingerly with a quiet clack of chat and lecky trekking poles to walk around a reservoir or wend through woodland. The slowest among us will be in the vanguard. There will be frequent stops, ostensibly to admire vistas, but really to catch breath or pee discreetly behind trees. We will follow a golden rule, never to speak of the fells that all of us used to climb. This will last for a season. Then we will say sod it. We will tackle Wasdale Screes, one step up, two steps down, and collapse in a tangle at the bottom to cackle at our absurdity. Wheat ears will hop close as rainbow bruises bloom. Golden plovers will fly over, and a young peregrine falcon will perform its acrobatics to our tears of delight. Thank you. And Fresh Air by Tony Hendry makes a great Christmas present for all your friends and family.
It really does. And I'm also going to put something about it on to Facebook over the next a couple of days with the photographs from that night. So
Excellent.
look out for that.
For anyone who hasn't seen it before as well, there's a lot of really beautiful artwork in it, which is by Hunt Emerson, who's Tony's cousin. That's right, isn't it?
Cousin, that's right, yeah.
So there's just so much in it. It's brilliant.
A big difference, yeah.
I like this. This is our own PR department. I like this. Thank you. Thank you both. Okay, Ross, do you have another?
Sorry, I don't. I only had one sort of to read out, so I'm going to have to skip this one, I'm afraid.
No, that's great. Thank you very much. Okay, Susan.
Well, spurred on by the Boris Johnson impression that started us off, we have our very own Boris Johnson here. Come here.
Hello.
And he's going to share his staying alert message.
Sometimes we're gonna
Oh
sing.
God, Harry, you said you knew the words.
I know, but what if I forget?
Ah.
No. Well,
Right, so get into the zone, Harry. Get into the zone. It's not Harry. It's...
I want to thank my right honourable friend for the microphone. I want to sing a little song called "Staying Alert" by the Bojos. Well, you can tell by the way I lead this place, I'm a big disgrace with an ugly face. June the 1st, my test trick trace it. It did happen to me. Now it's just armor, switch karma. There's no such thing as karma. Won't harm you, not a farmer. So where you gonna get a llama? Let me take it through the basics because I'm racist and I'm faceless and I'm staying alive. Staying alive. My hair could do with care if you were dead into my life because I'm staying alive. Staying alive. Wah, 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 wah. Staying alert. Staying alert. Wah, 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 wah. Staying alert.
Can you go through the words so they can hear them? The chorus. Do it slowly.
It's just the blah, blah, blah.
No, not the blah 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 bit. The words.
Let me take this through the basics because I'm racist and I'm faceless and I'm staying alive. Staying alive. My hair could do with care if you would dare enter my lair because I'm staying alive. Staying alive.
Very good, Harry.
Very good, thank you.
Thank you, Harry.
You're welcome.
Maybe we can get it to be the Christmas #1. Cool. Was that your piece then, Susan? Harry did your piece.
Well, are we having another go round, or is that it? Do you think?
There might be one more. There might be one more round.
Or should I do one now?
Go for it. If you, we had a song and a poem from Julian Paul earlier. So
I know, but I'm not. You know, I'm trying to hog the thing. Okay. Small things. Small things like a walk, a leaf, a bird, or a freckle shyly showing on a sun-kissed shoulder, or an ammonite curling millipede discovered under lifted stone, a snatch of tufted grass for nest in beak, a grain of soil under fingernail from long gone green emerging fingers, the fleeting smell of morning dampened grass and wood smoke, coffee fresh on stove, toast, and acrid tang of Marmite, and the precious hour of time alone, are punctuations to the endless days where edges blur. That was because of George saying about all the days going into one. So, and it's been accepted into the Norman Nicholson collection that Mike was talking about too.
Oh, fantastic.
I've got 3 poems in it.
Wow.
I know.
Cool. Well, you'll have to let us know how you get on. George, we're back with you.
Right, thanks, Phil. This poem was for all those childhood heroes that no one will ever remember. And the sad thing about this is that I remember this chap as an old man. And then I looked him up after I'd done this and I discovered he died at 60. But then maybe that was the thing back when I was a child, that people aged quickly because of the sort of lives they had. But anyway, this is No Blue Plaque. The paper shop beside Iceland's car park, where I was served by the hand that held the ball that twisted batsmen into knots. The cricket field gates, how often did I wait to see him enter, for the game already in his whites. The house beside the ground, so close he changed it home from grey gardener to superhero. The clock above the pavilion roof, they say he hit it with a 6 or 2 before my time.
Good stuff.
I believe he also bowled Len Hutton in a game for Scotland, or someone like that, Donald Bradman or something like that, someone really famous. So it was like one of those things when you're a kid, I stood there at 6, going, you know. But I thought he was ancient, and he must have been about 40.
40's not ancient.
I always thought you were old when you had a pocket full of change. My dad always seemed to have a pocket full of change. Dandy when you're asking for things.
That's the sign of aging, is it? A pocket full of change.
I think
I just
so.
think that's a man.
Maybe it was his hips. I don't know. Isn't it?
Well, I mean, I remember I get threepence as pocket money. So you got a threepenny boot. I lived in the days when you actually had threepenny boots, and you used to go into sweet shops and get change.
This is when you're a kid, change.
Yeah, you get penny trees and halfpenny trees.
Yeah, yeah. I was brought up in a corner shop. I remember though, serving in the shop with those. Yeah, you get someone coming in with 50p. Some posh houses. You'd be there all day.
So have you got anything smaller? You know?
You'd have to say like Superman was in before and he wanted a 50p mix. Shall I make you one? They go, yeah.
Oh, fantastic. Cool. Okay. Roz, do you have another one for us, Roz?
I just thought I'd read an old one, but I haven't actually read it last in Wild Zucchinis, so it's a while since I read it. And it's just because Valerie reminded me of it last week, and she thought I'd be all right last week because she knew I wasn't going to die till I was 69. So it's just what I called it. I just know. It's an odd one, this idea of mine. I expect to die when I'm 69. Where it comes from, I don't know. But that's definitely when I expect to go. I have no illness or particular reason beyond the decline of each passing season, the normal processes that take their toll and propel us towards our ultimate goal. But I've a few more years to wait and see how much truth there is in my prophecy. But I've always known I'll die at 69. So while I can, I'll drink lots of wine, although alcohol poisoning is likely to be the very thing that does for me. There you go.
Don't tempt fate, don't they? Julie and Paul, do you have another for us?
It's my turn to sing this time. I haven't sung this for about a year, so if I'm a bit rusty, please forgive me. It's Second Hand Rose, made famous by Barbra Streisand.
1965.
When I was young.
But it has an extra verse from about 1921 that no one knows. So we're going to put the second verse in as well. So Second Hand Rose. Hang on a sec. Change key.
Father had a business, strictly second hand. Everything from toothpaste to a baby brand. Stuff in our apartment came from Father's store. Even clothes I'm wearing, done one more before. It's no wonder people feel amused. I never get a thing that ain't been used. I'm wearing second-hand hats, second-hand clothes. That's why they call me Second-Hand Rose. Even our piano in the parlor, Daddy bought for 10 cents on the dollar. Second-hand girls, I'm wearing second-hand girls. I never get a single thing that's new. Even Jake the plumber, he's the man I adore. Had the nerve to tell me he's been married before. Everyone knows that I'm just second-hand Rose from 2nd Avenue. I'm wearing second-hand shoes, second-hand hose, and all the girlies hand me the second-hand blues. my pajamas when I don them. Have somebody else's initials on them. Second-hand rings, I'm tired of second-hand things. I never get what other girlies do. Once while strolling through the woods, a woman got my coat. She nudged her friend and said, "Oh, look, there goes my last year's coat." Everyone knows that I'm the second-hand rose from Second Avenue. From Second Avenue. That's right.
Thank you very much.
Julie, what was that from? It's driving me nuts. I can picture it in my head.
It's from The Funny Girl.
I think it's
Funny
Funny
Girl,
Girl.
of course, yeah.
Oh, it's Mark, yeah. Funny Girl.
It's from Funny Girl, Barbara Streisand.
Yeah.
Originally written 1921 by, who wrote it?
Fanny somebody. Can't remember her
A real
name.
1920s singer. Yeah, I can't remember her name now. But, we play it when we play it in residential homes.
Well, we used to.
We used to, but we're banned now.
Yeah.
Can't go in now.
It wasn't that bad.
Another few years and then I'll be all right.
Yeah, so, yeah.
Well, thank you, folks. I'll be off to do some of the family stuff. So see you in a month's time or thereabouts.
Yeah, well, thanks very much, Tony.
All right then, cheers.
Great stuff.
Good night, Tony. Thank you.
Tomorrow at the Folk Club.
All right then, cheers. Yes, be there as well. Yeah.
Okay. Where are we up to? Craig, do you have another for us, Craig?
I've got a poem that I discovered recently on Instagram by, well, it's on Florence Welsh's Instagram, but I think it's by a poet called Ella Frears. It's called Becoming Moss. I lie on the ground, I open my mouth, I suck on a spoon, I embrace a stone. A beetle crawls by, I empty my mind, I stuff it with grass, I'm green, I repeat. The sun is a drink, the yellowest squash, I can't get enough, 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 I can't get enough. Thank you.
All right.
I have to get Becca to do everything on here because I haven't got a clue. I really like when poets get asked what poetry is, because they come out with the most poetic answers to them. I think some of the best ones. Miroslav Holub said that poetry is a device for capturing and releasing energy, and Philip Whalen said that poetry is a graph of the mind moving. But my favourite one was from the American Serbian poet Charles Simic, who I've actually used the quote to kick this poem off. It goes, "Poetry, 3 mismatched shoes at the entrance to a dark alley." That's Charles Simic. This one's called Vanishing Trick. It's another one about shoes. I haven't got a thing about shoes, if anyone was wondering, but we'll see. It might happen again. Vanishing Trick. A little further on than the entrance to the lane, with dusk just beginning to draw down darkness on the day. Not 3 mismatched shoes, but a pair of large and lonely brogues, toes pointed in the same direction, 5 feet of pathway stretched between. Each one laced and tightly tied, double bowed, as though the feet inside simply let go the tethers of this world, slipped their stitched and polished hides, and in an act of third-rate wordplay, lifted off and left their souls behind. Now, tell me, who hasn't wanted this sometime or another? To stroll along a shaded lane, the sun going down, the sky a violence blooded with colour. To release first one foot from the ceaseless drag of gravity, then the other. To become translucent, then invisible. Each molecule pierced by the cool descending night, the insect-winged air, the pole stars leaching the sextant light. Tell me, have you ever yearned for this, or something vaguely like it? To step outside your cluttered life, to disappear entirely? Thank you.
Yeah, very good. Thank you very much. Juliet.
I've got another poem. I've been trying to experiment with writing a Middle Eastern form called a ghazal that I've come across. And so you repeat in the form, you repeat an end word all the time because it's an oral form. So it's to repeat the word it's about. So I'll give it a go. I haven't read it before. How to grow a giant marrow. Nothing exists without healthy soil. Take this seed, soak it, shave it, bury it in the soil, then tamp it down and water the soil. Beneath your feet, utter prayers to the God of legumes. Tend the shoots, feed them seaweed from the sea's own soil. Reward the leaves, they long for the Andes. Play them music, songs of the mother soil. Urge them upwards, say up, up, flowers grow, be bright, be yellow, turn away from the soil to the sun. Name your child after your champion. Curcubita will be big-hipped and sprout children from the soil. Tell your friends how fast the fruit is growing. Make them believe in the magic of your soil. Then show them how to make it themselves with cardboard and peelings that mulch to make soil. Share your wisdom like these precious scraps, and from this the worms create soil. It will serve you well, this soil. It will feed the living and bury the dead as well. Okay, it was a ghazal.
That was great.
George obviously knows what is familiar with it.
Oh, well, I wonder what form you'll find next time for us. That's good. Janet?
Should we go for another Christmas shopping plug? Or SpeakEasy 4?
Hooray!
And it's called...
You can't buy this kind of advertising, you know.
No, and it's very reasonable and a very good read, and there's lovely illustrations in there. I recommend anybody to get it for their loved ones for Christmas. Anyway, they might be in lockdown in January, so they need something to read. Here we go. It's called Words Without Method. Into the conversation I wish I'd never had, I added ingredients stored for years. They simmered and bubbled, so overspilled. I failed to prepare and add tact. The words were mopped up with apologies, but the stain and the odour still linger. No. Thank you.
Yeah,
sorry guys, I'll need to cut out. That's been great. Lovely all. Thanks. Bye.
Cheers, George.
Enjoy your full price shopping.
Yeah. Good luck with the groceries.
It's the wine. I only do it for the wine.
Don't we all?
You won't get change out of threepence then.
Good stuff. Cool, that was great.
Maybe you will.
All right. Richard.
Yeah, back again. Sorry, I dipped out there for a minute. My internet connection seems to be a bit dodgy, but never mind. This is called Another Dimension. And probably that's where it went, but there you go. It starts off, with just one dimension and moves through a few more. You move in straight lines, forwards or back, a linear progression, a track, endlessly across a world so flat. A graph on a page, there's no fun in that. However, I am unorthodox. I started to think outside the box, shifting in twists and elegant curves, arcs and arches and interesting swerves. You realise I had to mention I've discovered a new dimension. I can glide in a circular way, rolling, swooping like a bird at play. Although I can see letters and a host of things, I'm still trapped in a singular plane. The third dimension's beyond my brain. Perhaps your world is like a sheet, a solid shape I would love to meet. A cube, a globe, even a brick, pyramid or dome, that would be slick. For then, much to my consternation, far beyond my imagination, I'll stay in place, no wish to blunder. How many dimensions are there, I wonder? Apparently there are 11, but the 4 we have makes up heaven. Try tying 10-dimensional knots in 12-dimensional space, or not. There you go. Apparently a friend of mine did a thesis on tying 10-dimensional knots in 12-dimensional space, but it was beyond my mathematics, I tell you. Sounded like fun.
Yeah, that's good. I like that. Yeah. Okay. Well, into another dimension we go with Fernando Smith.
How dare you, madam? That friend you had, I'd unfriend him quick.
Yeah.
Sounds dangerous, Richard. I'm going to read a poem I've read before, but I don't know when exactly I did it, so it might have been in 1974. I don't know, because this is for just before coming on here. I saw the news, and Maradona has died at the age of 14, and he's in the title, but not on the playing field of this poem. I don't especially celebrate Maradona. I think he wasn't probably a very nice person, but you have to admire the move and the swagger. And it's about football as a child, and it's called Maradona of the Wreck. When we were kids, we played football and wished never to stop. The ball and us lost on the ground, the volley, the goal. These were things caught in our dreams as we sketched passes, combinations, feints summoned by a lower shoulder. Through the thick gloaming we would play until our mothers called us in, and the next day we would play a little better, a little faster. Life is a miracle, the dying light where we felt most free, not being able to see the entire goal or half the pitch, having to sense the pass, leave a carefully sliced cross stillborn by the touchline. It was like playing with forgotten eyes. There, on the uneven ground, perhaps the spot of an old skirmish, focked with hoof prints, the earth skid-scabbed, we discovered the field. Its roll to the left, trenched on the flank, an uphill haunch toward the famished net. We learned our opponents that way. It was the best education, our imagination.
Yeah, imagination. That's a good dimension to be in. That's good. Cool. Are we up for one more round? Does that sound okay? Okay.
I'd love to stay, Phil, but I'm gonna say cheerio. I gotta make a move now, so I'll catch you
I'm going to
The
go because
next
I've got an early
meeting.
one.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Whenever that will be.
Bye-bye.
Just say goodbye to.
Well, bye everyone.
Thank you very
guys.
much.
I'm gonna head off too.
Okay, cheers.
The
Cheers.
hard off then.
Good night, good night, good night.
Thanks very much. We'll maybe see you again next time, yeah? That's been good. Okay.
And all the little squares get bigger.
Yeah. They're no longer little squares, they're just smallish, medium squares. Cool. All right, well we'll do one quick last rattle through stuff. Does that sound okay for everyone who's left? Yeah? Okay. Well, it's probably not escaped your notice that it's Black Friday. Is it next week or I think it's this Friday? Is it after Thanksgiving in the US or something? So it gives me an excuse to do this old one, which is called Black Friday, and it goes like this. Uh-oh, I spy Black Friday. It's that time of year. You just kind of dread it. When Christmas is looming, and we've nearly met it. The budget, oh fudge it. So what if they say we've not got any cash? But that's no reason to postpone or abstain from our trolley dash. We hop in the car and crawl along the road with every other penny-pinching toad until we enter our Shangri-La, this El Dorado of concrete and glass. Who enjoys shopping? It's such a pain in the ass. And there's a queue in the car park. There's a space. Quick, go, go. Oh yeah, same to you. Honking the horn, how'd you like that? You greedy selfish. Oh hey, nice hat. Inside. And it's sail, sail, sail. Ka-ching goes each till. People push wheelbarrows. Up them they fill with discount merchandise. Bargains galore. Got 10 tellies, but room for one more. Remember your flexible friend. Plastic cards filled to the max. Paying 5p's for your plastic bags. I don't know what I bought. I just knew it was cheap. Slides through the checkout, collects in a heap. How'd we get it home? It won't fit in the car. Oh, really? How strange. That's frankly bizarre. Electronic gadgets always come in enormous, oversized boxes. Polystyrene and cardboard ends up in the bin, an instant pop-up playground for foxes. What a waste for something which can often barely be seen. And don't tie a telly to the roof rack, like that episode of Mr. Bean. Brake too sharply, and your flat-screen TV comes through your windscreen. I've had enough of retail therapy. It ought to be banned. So much for goodwill to each woman and man. In households across the land, questions are asked. How can we afford to pay the bills? We'll put it on credit. After all, it's that time of year. You just kind of dread it. And there you are. That's the moral about Black Friday. Thank you very much. Becca, do you have another?
No.
No.
I didn't just disappear. I was still listening to you. I just needed to go over there to sort my computer out. So sorry for wandering off, but I was very good. I was listening.
That's cool. All right. Roz, have you got another one for us?
Not really, just what I started writing, but it's not finished, so I'm not going to read it.
All right.
I have to ask you while I think about it. I haven't heard from Lou yet about her book, which I still have, so can you send her another message?
Okay, yeah, I will. Yeah, I heard from him today, but yeah, just been snowed under with stuff at college. I
Yeah,
think.
no, that's all right. Just if you give me a shout sometime, I can get it to her. I'm sure she would appreciate it.
That's another copy of poetry for
Of
our
those.
everybody, just in case we haven't plugged that enough this evening. I'm afraid there probably isn't any Black Friday. Well, there might be. It's on Amazon. I don't know. There may be bargains. I don't know. Okay.
Oops.
Paul and Julie, do you have another for us? I said it'd be quick this round.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
I'd like to do a poem about a day in the life of a factory girl in the 1950s.
Okay.
Hurrying across a bridge before the sirens call. This morning she's racing her shadow all along the factory wall. Then through the gate where she will wait in line to cross the yard to clock her card in time. And under her scarf, her hair set in curls, the day begins for the factory girl. For a while the girls try to talk, but their voices soon drown in the din. And their eyes watch their hands do the work, and the new day's rhythm begins. No change today, like yesterday, the same. But it's dinner soon, then afternoon, and then home. And hurrying home in the fading light, the factory girl is going out tonight. Her mother says, "Don't be late, you've got to get up again before 8. Oh yes, she sighs, but there's joy in her eyes as she runs down the path through the gate. And out on the rainy streets, hoping that her night will last. No whispering palms on the beach for her, just a swish of the cars going past. But she believes no one could feel the same, touching and whispering in the rain. But the rain takes away her beautiful curls. The night is soon gone for the factory girl. And hurrying across a bridge before the sirens call, this morning she's smacking the columns all along the factory wall. Starling sings and shakes his wings. She smiles. Then at the gate she hesitates for a while. Then from inside the gates the sirens whirl, and across the yard runs the factory girl.
Thank you very much. And Julie, have you got one for us?
Yeah, this is a really old one, like Mark's. This is from 1981. It's called The Eagle. Her nest is high on the craggy rock. Far, far below the sea rages. Its foaming fingers beat viciously at the solid rock. With a leap she takes to the air, her huge wings spread wide. She glides through the atmosphere, carried by the turbulence. Over the fields she glides, her eyes alert and glinting. The smallest rustle of grass is noted. She swoops low, then soars even higher. The cry of her young draw her back to the nest. The ever-open mouths are silenced for a while. Soon they must learn to fly. Gently, she coaxes them. One at a time, they tumble out of the nest. Tiny wings flap furiously. The mother swoops down and catches her young. Always she is near. Her shadow falls across the murky depths. They are safe under the shadow of her wings.
Very nice. That was good. Thank you very much. Owen, have you got another?
He pushed the
Did
button
it?
all by himself.
No way. That's crazy.
Oh, it's all grown up.
This is a 10 to 15 walk poem, this one. I've been working on this for about 6 months. It all kicked off, I was watching Anthony Gormley did this really interesting documentary about early art, and it was all prehistoric. And the most common early piece of prehistoric art is the stenciled handprint, which is made by chewing charcoal or ochre or anything like that, and then spitting for about 45 minutes around the edge of the hand to get the outline, and then you take it away. And they're all over the world, these things. It's like people were doing it at different times, but it seems to be the earliest thing in every place was this handprint. So this is kind of about that, and about the program as well. It's called Traveling Light. 30,000 years from the nearest electric circuit, you chip a spark from stone, catch it in a bud of moss. Seasons dried, crisp, it flares between your fingers, resuscitated starlight. You have learned to crack and scatter night, yet yearn still, dreams ablaze, to cast your human flame into a deeper lasting dark. So crawl through the cave on your hands and knees till you come to the place that says, here, now, this. All things living being born from darkness, you have worked your way to where the fire burns brightest. To conjure for yourself and all of those who follow, first light of a new constellation, cosmic burst in the hallowed earth, flickering out the void. Palm pressed against the face of geological time, the songs of all your ancestors whispering in the brain. You chew to spit the bones of flame, then lift to leave a stenciled star, 5 fingers bright, pulsing in the buried dark. Much like the stars that myths are always made of, your prehistoric gestures take their time to find us. Stitched in the pixels of a 21st century screen, presence cast in absence, your hand a negative space, traveling light, reaching out the ages. That's it.
Wow, that was wonderful. Fantastic, man. Yeah, great. Oh, cool. Yeah, yeah. I wish I'd seen that show now.
Oh, it's really good. I think it might have gone from iPlayer, but you might be able to get it on YouTube. It makes a really interesting an analogy between Picasso's work and scenes of hunting scenes in caves. It's really interesting what he says about it. I'm not going to say what it is in case you watch it, but I thought, oh yeah, wow, that's probably true. Yes, cool. If you find it, it's worth watching. And his just wonder at it is amazing as well. He loves it. It's just brilliant.
Oh, fantastic. Well, I'll see if I can find it somewhere. That's great. Cool. Thank you. Who are we up to next? Jeanette, have you got one for us?
Yep, I have. This was following a Pen 48 prompt. It was sounds, and I'd been at Tully House for a morning and I walked out into the rain, and it kind of came from that. It's called Street Sounds, 3rd of October 2020. A lulling of cloudburst pours into silence, filling cup leaves, replenishing blooms and accenting yellows. It pours on the pavement, glistening blackness, echoing footsteps, washing the words lost behind masks, words losing melody with still hope for harmony. That's that. Thank you.
That was great. Thank you. Yeah, a hope for harmony. That's great. That's a mantra for our time. Very good. And Richard's disappeared into another dimension again. So it's Fernando Smith.
Oh, and if you haven't already seen it, there's a great documentary by Werner Herzog, Cave of Forgotten Dream, The Last Saw Caves, yeah. And of course he narrates it in the Werner Herzog voice.
Yeah, is that the one with the albino alligator at the end?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. His greatest voiceover was the one he did in the Antarctic.
I think I might have seen. Is that the one with the ice caves in it and stuff
Journey
like that?
to the Ends of the World. I forget the exact. He finds a penguin on its own, and penguins are social beings, and it wanders off into the distance, and he doesn't avoid it. Oh, wonders, where's the penguin is going? You should watch it, Phil, if you haven't.
Great, I'll watch anything with Werner Herzog.
Yeah. What dreams does the penguin have?
The weirdest thing, Mark, is that he turns up in the new Star Wars series, The Mandalorian.
Oh, really?
And he's the best person in it. He's only in it for about 2 minutes, but it's worth it.
I'll bet, yeah, with his killer's eyes. I'm going to sing a song. I've had a dream most of my life of disappearing. This was before I was even anywhere. I suppose it's an extreme version of The Grass is Always Greener. And last night I had a very disturbed night last night, and I woke up in the middle of the night with a sensation that I haven't experienced before. And it's okay, it's not like that. I genuinely felt like I was disappearing, like I was becoming invisible in my life. I don't know. And I was thinking about, I was pondering this in the early hours of the morning, and I thought maybe it's because I've sort of semi-retired now, and maybe there's something about identity that's disappearing. I don't know. It was ever so odd. So I'll have to work out, anyone here that's older than me maybe have experienced something like this. And you sometimes hear about the housewives of England talking about how they disappear bit by bit, and so someone's erasing you. I've read people's writing about that. And so that was quite disconcerting, and it made me think of this song that I wrote some time ago called Invisible Me. And it's about just this thing, and often, as we know in art, we forecast, we foretell. We have art's like a crystal ball, I do believe this. And the things that our subconscious have worked out manifest in art, that then becomes truth. It sometimes takes me a moment to get into the rhythm of this because it's a funny finger. I don't want to be touched, I don't want to be touched anymore. Not by anything, not by anything at all. Invisible in my life, I want invisible in my life. So you can look right through me, like I wasn't there at all. If I was a radio, you wouldn't tune me in. And if I was an auto crash, I wouldn't survive. I wouldn't survive. And I'd lie there on the highway, looking up at the sky, wondering why. Invisible me, you see, invisible me, you can't see me. Baby, just hear me breathing. I don't want to be touched. I don't want to be touched now, not by anything, not by anything at all, not by anything at all.
Thank you very much. That was a window into one's mind. Yeah, interesting. Yeah. I love that line about being by the highway and looking up at the stars and the sky. And
That you know the David Lynch film Wild at Heart. That line came to me when there's a highway scene, a crash scene where the young woman dies in front of the protagonists. Dies in a fit of confusion, and that image stayed with me when I was writing the song. She was disappearing right in front of them. Her life was ebbing out of her. Well, it's an happy sort of fight.
for that. That's a lovely note to end on. Do all of his films start with the stars, and then we pan down and we have the film, and then we pan back up to the stars? I've seen a number of his films that start that way. I think Terry Gilliam sort of mimics it sometimes as well.
I don't know if did Blue Velvet. I don't think that started. I mean, it started with an ear, didn't it? And a crawl through the grass. And, yeah.
Like picket fences and stuff, doesn't it? And then sort of dives into the morass of beetles doing whatever they're doing.
Yeah.
I can remember seeing Eraserhead when I was about 10, and I really shouldn't have done it. It was wrong. You know, it traumatized me completely.
I'm not surprised.
It's like, no wonder I think this way. You know, I could have been a contender instead of a bum, which I am, with a one-wheel ticket to Palookaville.
David Lynch's fault.
Yeah, I'll sue the bastard.
Well, the Razorhead starts with the stars as well, I think. I think there's a
What Razorhead does it? I can't remember.
So. We had a screening of it.
Traumatized. It's all coming back to me.
We had a screening of a Razorhead as part of our first year around at the Cumbria Institute of the Arts.
Yeah, we did that.
The lecturer put it on and left the room, and then slowly everybody filtered out except me, and I watched the whole thing. I was the last man standing. Oh,
Who was the lecturer?
He who must not be named.
Does it begin with C?
His last name does, yeah. RC. Yeah.
Oh,
he was quite RC, yeah.
I think he did that. I think he did the same thing to us with the Alejandro Jodorowsky film.
Oh, right.
Yeah, and Nick came and got me out halfway through the lesson. He was like, "You all right?" And I said, "I think something's been done to my brain, Nick."
Oh yeah, yeah. It does something to your brain. It's an experience, not not necessarily a meaning.
I heard this story once when he went to pitch for Twin Peaks, when he went to meet the execs, and his pitch was the two detectives are walking down the side of this lake and they find this body wrapped in plastic, and then there's this wind. That was his pitch.
Wow.
There was a Twitter question, a long feed that was quite entertaining some time ago. Someone asked if people could do like the worst pitch of the favourite films in one line. And my favourite film's Wings of Desire by Wim Wenders, if you know it. And my pitch was Angel Sells Old Helmet.
This is good material for another time. We can work on this.
I think we're all longing for a discussion in the pub. I think what's happening here.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. Oh well. On that note, I think we'll draw things to a close. But thank you all for tuning in. Can we just give everyone who read a little round of applause? Is that okay? And everybody who sang, everyone who listened, and everyone who left before the end.
Everybody who's still here.
And everybody who's still here, yeah.
And those who refuse to leave.
Yeah.
And thank you, Phil, for knowing how to work Zoom.
Oh, thank you.
Phil, did John Hegley, did it go well? Did you have lots of people? I sent someone on it. I got
the John Hegley thing went.
Due commission.
Yeah, we had.
She enjoyed it.
Good. I think everybody enjoyed it.
Good.
Yeah. Yeah. That was
went really well. Yeah.
It was good, wasn't it?
Good.
And yeah, we there was some good biscuit energy in the room.
Yeah. Did you get your glasses back?
Yeah. Yeah. What do you think, Val? And was it good? John Hegley was sparring.
Good, yeah.
Yeah, good. Yeah, he, seems a little while ago now, but it was great, and he was thrilled with all the material that people produced. Jeanette, you had a good time, didn't you?
Yeah, it was a really good way to spend a Saturday morning. I would definitely do it again if you would run another.
Yeah, well, he's hoping to do a project about John Keats next year if things come together. So there might be the opportunity to do something else then. So we'll have to watch this space. But yeah, you never know. You never know. And
Becca might do one as John Hegley.
yeah.
If the price is right, I can be anyone, darling.
Yeah.
And on that note, yeah, it's great. Thank you all. Oh, Roz, you were there for the John Higley thing as well. Yeah. Did you enjoy it? Because you were a little bit out of it, I think.
I was a bit out of it, to be honest with you, Phil. I don't think I really knew what was going on at all. I did hear.
You want to leave them Pritt sticks alone, Roz, honestly.
Yeah, I know. No more Pritt sticks for me. That's possible.
Well, I think there was a bit of a feeling like that with everybody to begin with.
I reckon Roz out Hegley'd Hegley. If anyone else could do it, Roz could do it.
I half rhymed his name with hard-boiled egg. And John
Hegley. Yeah. I think you've got a bit of a John Hegley brain anyway, Phil. So I think because the things you did a la in the style, the last Speakeasy were really good. You obviously had a propensity for this. I could see it.
Oh, well, you're very kind. I'm a pale imitation of.
Well, I did say it was good. Phil. Come on.
No, yeah. I know you wouldn't.
No, you've got the right backwards brainwaves and.
I think there's a compliment in there, but I think it's
There
gone
is,
weird.
there
Does
is.
anybody have the time? It's gone weird. We always get there. No, but yeah, thank you.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Yes, take care, and there'll probably be another one. Poets Out Loud at the start of December, and then we might do another one before Christmas. We'll see what happens. But yeah, stay safe, keep well, and I'll see you soon.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Good night, everybody.
Have a safe trip home.
Good night, John boy.
Night, everybody.